All right, so this is the second video. And this one's kind of a see what you can remember. All right, so we are going to put an equation in the graphing calculator, and then we're going to graph it. And then I'm going to ask you a series of questions to see if you can identify the quadratic attributes. All right, and so I'm going to leave the view like it is here. We've explained this before. All right, so what is the steps for clearing your calculator? All right, you should have said that it is second plus 7, 1, 2. And that clears your calculator. All right, so we'll do that. All right, and what is the button you push to put an equation in your graphing calculator? All right, you should have said y equals. So we put y equals. So we're going to put an equation in here. All right, and I'm just going to use one that I used earlier. So put the little caret here. 2. All right, what do I do next to get rid of the little to get it out of exponent form? I hit the little arrow button over here. Very good. All right, then we're going to let's go ahead and put in negative 13x and minus 30. All right, so I have my equation at the calculator. All right, if I want to look at just at the data, what is how can I look at the table part? What buttons do I push? I should have said second and the graph button because the blue table is above it. And there's my data. And you can scroll up and down like we mentioned before to look at it. All right, so let's graph it. So when we graph it, you can see, oh my gosh, it's pretty huge. And if you notice, we only have one line here. So, and it has a curve to it. So that means the other one is off the chart somewhere. So let's change our window. So we're going to go and change our window. We need to change our X max because it goes, we can tell it goes to the, so let's make this a 20. All right. And I'm going to change that to a 2, the scale of 2. The Y min, we know it's like last time it was negative 30. So I do know that this one's a lot deeper. So we're going to use negative 80. And the Y max, let's just change it to 5. And then our scale, we're going to go ahead and say it is 10. So it's going to count by tens. Each line's worth 10. So we're going to hit graph. All right, so there we go. And so we have our graph here. And so I'm going to ask you a series of questions, and you just kind of tell me what you think. All right, first one is x-intercept. What is the x-intercept for the function in this on this graph right here? All right, the x-intercept is when our line crosses the x, or I'm sorry, let's probably said x-intercept. Let's reverse. The y-intercept. Where's the y-intercept? The y-intercept is where our line crosses the y-axis. All right. And so what is that value? All right, we can hit trace and it'll automatically tell us. Well, not in this case because we messed up. So we can go to trace, and I'm going to go to trace here, and we're going to find out where our y-intercept is. And our y-intercept should be at negative 30. So there it is. It's our y-intercept. All right, and so how do I find, or where is my vertex now? My vertex is at the peak here. It should be right about here. So I'm going to scroll down. And remember, I'm looking for when my y value changes from changes to course. There's negative 72, negative 72.1. Let me see, I think that was a negative 72. See, it's getting a little bit bigger. So this right here is my vertex right here. So my vertex looks like it's going to be 6.5, or if we round 6.6, and a negative 7.22. All right, so that's our vertex. What does the vertex contain? What two attributes? One is the axis of symmetry. The axis of symmetry is a line that goes straight up and down. All right. And it touches the x-axis. And so, what would that equation of the axis of symmetry be? Well, the equation, since it only touches the x-axis here, see if you draw a imaginary line and it goes like this, it only touches the x-axis, then it's x equals 6.59 or 6.6. That's the equation. Does this have a min or a max? As you can tell, this is as low as it goes, and the vertex, that's where the vertex is, and that is a minimum value. All right, and what is the equation for the minimum value? Well, since it goes through the vertex, the y equation, the minimum value equation is right here. It's the y value. So it will be y equals negative 72.24. So the vertex, which is 6.6, if you want to round it, negative 72.24, that's your vertex. That's where it's at the peak of the bottom or the top. The line of symmetry, the axis of symmetry, is a vertical line that goes straight down. That would be the x value. The min or max will be the horizontal line that goes through and touches the y-axis. That would be the negative 72b equation here. All right, so we said that this was the y-intercept. We said this was the vertex, the axis of symmetry, and the min and max. What are my solutions or zeros? All right, so zeros are my x-intercepts. That's these guys here. So what are my x-intercepts? Well, this one would be -1, and the other one would be, oh, I'm sorry, we remember that we went by 2. So this is -2, and this is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. And it actually goes between 14 and 16, which makes that 15. So that's 15. And we can trace it to try to make sure so we don't forget. But don't forget, our scale, we changed it by 2. So if we go back here to window, see how I changed the x scale by 2. So that means each line is worth 2. All right, so this is like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. And that's between, so that's 15. So my roots are 15 and -2. All right. Does this open upward or downward? This one opens upward. As you can see, its spaces are right here. It's almost like you could pour a cup in there. If it was opening downward, it would be a frowny face. All right, we've covered everything. So let's try it again. Roots are -2 and positive 15. It opens upward. The vertex is here. Remember, the axis symmetry is, and let me go ahead and hit trace so we can see it a little better. The axis of symmetry, the vertex is goes as low as it can, and that's like at the peak of the bottom. And remember the equation, the axis of symmetry is right here, so it touches only the x-axis. So this is the equation of the axis of symmetry. The min or max, this is a min because it goes low. It crosses the y-axis, so it'd be 72, -72. And we said the y-intercept is right here.